On today's episode of Video Marketing Madness, we're going to discuss Hulu and what it means for your business. And today's episode is made possible by our good friends over at Movo. And today we're talking about the UM700 podcasting microphone. Now, you may recognize this if you look at it. It kind of looks like a certain other popular microphone that's named after a snow creature, but we won't mention any names. It actually works very similarly in that you can choose your pickup pattern. You've got Omni, and you've got cardioid, and you've got stereo, and you've got dual mic systems. So you could literally have one person over here and one person over here, put that microphone in the middle, and it's like having two separate microphones in one. And that's the UM700. You can check it out for your next video project, whether you're doing voiceovers, podcasts, whatever it happens to be. Check it out at pocketvideopro.com/UM700. And with that, Steve, are we ready to hear the song?
We
Song
are.
of Songs?
Ray.
Wait.
Hit it.
All right. Here we go.
He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy.
And it's the radio show about video marketing madness with Ray, the video guy, and I'm Steve Sleeper. GoVMM is the landing page for the podcast, the home page, whatever you want to call it. You can get social with us there. You can see all the podcatchers we like, Apple Podcasts, as do most people. We need 5-star reviews, baby.
That's right. And speaking of 5-star reviews, I've been using my iPhone as a webcam again. Oh. And I do have to say, out of all the ones I've tried, and I keep trying different ones, and now I will say there's a Movo one coming out that's going to be here probably not until August. It was actually done on a Kickstarter. They've got a brand new webcam, microphone, ring light, all in one little package. Really cool product. I backed that. I'm hoping that maybe they'll send me one early if I'm nice to them, but I did back the project, and they wanted $15,000, and last I checked, they were at like 20 times that goal. They passed their 15,000 goal in about a half hour. It was amazing. So
they wanted $15,000 from you?
$15,000 goal on Kickstarter.
Oh,
not from
I
me.
knew that. I
wouldn't give $15,000 to anybody. But the weird thing is, like I said, I've tried different webcams. I've used my C920 for a long time, which I always liked. But I will say those webcams, man, they look terrible when you compare them to much better cameras. You think these webcams are really good, these nice ones, and reality, they're not that good. You can see huge differences, and I used my DSLR for a little while, tried that. The problem is that with the Canon DSLRs, they don't quite work. Even though Canon's got software specifically for using them as a webcam now, it doesn't quite work. It puts these weird bars on the side, these pillars on the side, and you have to zoom in. And so it's a little odd. And with my particular model, it only wanted to do 720p for some reason. It wouldn't let, even if the camera was set at 1080, it would only do 720. So I finally gave up on that, went back to using the iPhone for that, which honestly gives me the best picture. Like what you're seeing right now, if I put the C920 on me, you would see huge differences. Like this would be all blown out. This would be too dark. It really evens it out, gives good color.
Look at you versus me, and I've got a C920, which is a good webcam, but the picture quality of you is much better. I'm not going to say you look better than me.
It's hard to say.
Hard to say.
No, but it is true. It really does make a big difference. I even tried using the Mevo for a little while too, but that was okay. The usability of the Mevo as a webcam was difficult, just because of the way that the Mevo works and connects and whatnot. And the iPhone one is a pain in the butt too, because you got to plug it into your computer and you got to use the specialized software. And I always put my phone in airplane mode, and then I still get phone calls anyway. So I'm not sure. Maybe I don't understand what airplane mode actually is, but literally I put it in airplane mode, put on the camo software, and then the phone will ring anyway.
Maybe because it's hooked up to the internet, it's on Wi-Fi.
Well, I think that might have something to do with it because it'll ring on the computer too.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's something to do with that. But I think I need to go in there and turn off the cellular thing manually and whatnot. Because messages will come through too, and the phone will buzz. And of course, if it buzzes, then the whole table shakes, and you can see it in the camera. So kind of a pain in the neck as far as that goes. But way better picture, and I like doing it that way. And here comes a phone call right now from Steve Sleeper as we're doing the show.
It is
to
buzzing.
Prove the point.
Yeah,
my phone is in
shaking.
airplane mode, and we've got a phone call from Steve. So,
and I could see the camera move a little bit only because you said it did. I wouldn't have noticed otherwise.
Well, sometimes it's even more so. Like it's like because this desk is very old and a little bit loosey goosey. It's one of those glass, those glass ones that were really popular in the early '90s.
Yeah.
The metal and glass, and so it's not the sturdiest of desks. And if I touch the desk, you can see the camera moves a little too much. I need to probably get a real desk at some point in time. Same one as you can see back there. It's part of the same one, the glass top and the metal sides. But
does anybody have used office equipment in the Loganville, Georgia area?
I'm sure there probably is, and we have an Office Depot, so I'm sure I can get something. But maybe someday. I don't know. It's not that big of a fuss. I actually like the look of the glass ones, so probably won't change them anytime soon. But
groovy.
You never know.
It's not that big a deal. I can't really.
It's usually not. It's usually not. So
we can live with it.
But
now I know, like GoPros, they have stability thing in them. Does that have a stability thing or anything? Or
it does, but it's not gonna adjust for that kind of movement. When the whole thing's shaking, crazy. But,
yeah.
But, all right, so that's my little webcam dilemma for right now. And we've had a lot of weird little hardware issues and things over the last couple of weeks that we've been dealing with, and well, that's all right. We're here to record today, and we're going to talk about something extra special and extra fun, something near and dear to my heart, something that I've been working with for a while, but now is a totally different animal, and we'll tell you why in a few minutes, and that is Hulu. Now, if you don't use Hulu and you don't know what Hulu is a network streaming system, kind of like a Netflix, part of the Disney Plus family now, but it's, you watch your TV shows and your movies on there. It's much more into TV shows, I think, than even movies. I prefer it over Netflix just because I like the content they have on there for TV a little more than Netflix, which tends to be, a little more movie-related. Hulu doesn't have as many movies as Netflix does, although Netflix seems to be losing them at a rapid pace as everybody and their brother creates their own streaming service and then pulls all their stuff off of poor Hulu or poor Netflix, who I feel bad for. Netflix spent all this time working with these guys and getting them online streaming and everything else, and then they all go make their own and pull all their content. And now Netflix is left with, pittance of what they used to have, sadly. But Hulu, like it. The reason we're going to talk about Hulu, Steve, is because, and I think we may have done an episode on Hulu back a while ago, a long while ago when it was first.
Yeah, you did. You the last episode you did on Hulu was about buying time on Hulu.
Yeah,
You were doing that for personal injury attorneys, and they were getting pretty good results as far as click-throughs. And
well, nowadays it's changed, and that's why we wanted to bring it back up, because now Hulu is not just for Ford and Coca-Cola and Apple and car dealerships and bigger attorneys' offices that can afford to pay what they wanted to pay. Because before, if you wanted to run ads on Hulu, you had to commit to $30,000 worth of advertising with them.
Right.
Not many businesses, not many local plumbers are going to commit $30,000 to running ads on Hulu, even if it is like running it on TV because you're doing TV commercials. Very, very good advertising program, but a little too rich for most people, especially small local businesses. Well, that has all changed. Hulu now does what they call, it's like a do-it-yourself TV commercial system. So it's very similar to running a YouTube ad. It's a little more complex, a little bit more to it, a little bit more requirements, a little bit more money required, but you can do your own stuff. In fact, we have a TV commercial running for the escape room right now on Hulu in our local area. But there's only one problem, Steve. Only one problem. I've been trying to watch Hulu a little bit to see if I see my commercial, and for whatever reason, I didn't think we had the ad-free version of Hulu, but no ads have played at all. So maybe I do have the ad-free version. Maybe we upgraded. I didn't know. I had the ad-free version of Hulu a while back. I actually got rid of it because I wanted to see the commercials. Right. I purposely was willing to watch the commercials because I wanted to see what people were doing. But when I've watched Hulu the last couple of days, no commercials have run at all. So I don't know if maybe somebody in my family upgraded it or something, but because I didn't think I did. But
hey, let me ask you this: did you mention what the new minimum is?
The new minimum is, get the drum rolls ready, $500. $500. So instead of $30,000, you got to commit to $500. But here's the cool thing about that. It doesn't say you have to spend $500 this week or this month or this year. So I committed us to $1,000 on the first campaign when I was testing the new version out. So I put the escape room in for $1,000 worth, and I stretched that out through, I think, August. So it's like 5 months worth. So really very affordable.
So we could do that for PDQ.
You could certainly do that for PDQ, and I planned on talking to you about that.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about that offline. The video will be ready soon.
Yes, PDQ is a client that Steve and I have. Assuming that I can get the computers to not crash every 2 minutes and spend 3 days rebuilding them, we should have that video done any second. So that would be good.
I'm killing two birds with one stone before I forget.
Absolutely, yes. It comes right back down to it. I've had those. We've been, it's funny. The only thing that's really been affected by this weird hardware thing that I've been having is our live streaming. That's the only thing that's really affected by it. Yeah. But because I'm so obsessed with trying to fix it, it's hurting everything else because I'm trying to get it to run properly. And it was affecting two things. It was affecting, for those of you who don't know, the reason we missed so many weeks and everything, there was a couple of reasons, but one of which was we kept having these weird hardware issues. We'd try to live stream and it would lock up the whole computer, and it would do it over and over. And then I would test it 100 times and it would work fine. We'd do a show and the show would lock up and that'd be the end of that show. And it was only locking up like that when we were streaming to Facebook or when I was exporting MP4s out of Final Cut Pro, were the two times it would do it. It didn't really affect Final Cut Pro because I would just restart it and do it again and it would be fine. But obviously for doing a live show, there's a lot more involved than just hitting render. Working and creating videos was fine. Once they were done, we hit render, and then I would have an issue. I would just restart it and render it again. It would only, throw me off a few seconds. But obviously with a live video, doing a live show, it takes up a lot more time and a lot more effort at the moment. So when things go down, it really affects a lot of things, but it really wasn't affecting real work except that I had to spend all this time trying to work on it, which killed everything else. But
which is frustrating.
Yeah, and we still seem to be having some of those issues possibly
with the streaming.
Hopefully we're getting through them.
Let me ask you this, and I'm getting us off task, but what if we streamed it to the YouTube channel instead?
No, I don't think it has anything to do with where it's going. It's the streaming out that's. Okay. I think it's something to do with H.264 encoding. I think this computer has a hardware encoder, and I think, and again, this is a guess, because it only seems to be when I export out through H.264 streaming format, which is what's used to make MP4s as well, as I think there's something software and the H.264 hardware, something's going on. There's some, because it always worked fine, and then all of a sudden it didn't, and it hasn't for a couple of weeks. And I think something software and hardware wise is going on. So it's probably just waiting for the latest and greatest version of whatever to fix it. But
yeah, okay. How old's your? And this doesn't have anything to do with it then, but just out of curiosity, how old's your Mac?
It's new. It's new.
It's brand new.
So it's not brand new, but it's
new.
Well, it's like 2 years old now. Something like that. But it's, it wasn't the cheap one. It's the iMac Pro, so we spent a lot of money on it. Yeah, so it's really annoying that it's doing that. But, to be perfectly honest with you, I'm getting ready to probably sell it anyway because they're going to be coming out with the new M1 stuff, which is night and day faster. So
when's that?
I don't know.
Oh,
I mean, I've got the M1 laptop, absolutely amazing, but the iMacs should be coming soon, and we'll probably change it out then, and because sell this one while it's still worth quite a bit and get one of those new ones.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So
where do you
it's
sell
a great
it?
computer. Otherwise, it's just for whatever reason something's going on with that encoder, that something software wise. I'm sure it's just a matter of a new update of some kind, but. And I noticed a couple people, didn't seem to be a lot of people having the issue, but a couple people were having the issue. And they were talking about it, and they were trying a few things. And I've tried a bunch of things, and I don't know. Maybe this time I've nipped it in the bud. We'll see. We tried going live a little while ago, and we had an issue, but it seemed different. It seemed more like an internet issue that time. So
yeah, it's like the internet went down or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I don't think that was actually that. I think it was the internet that went down. Because we were still connected, but...
I continue to get you off task here, but
that's okay.
When you sell a used Mac that is as new as yours, where do you sell it, online or something? Is there a
Facebook
forum,
Marketplace, of course.
Oh, I've heard of them.
I've heard of them, yeah. No, that seems to be the best way. In fact, I had another iMac that was still very powerful and not that old, and I think I undersold it because I sold it a couple weeks ago testing out Facebook Marketplace, and I had about 50 people offer me full price for it, and a couple people offered me more than full price, but I sold it 10 minutes after I put it up there. So clearly I had undervalued it and should have charged a lot more for it, but oh well, that's okay.
It is what it is.
Yeah, my goal was to sell it and buy the new my new laptop, and I did. I didn't pay anything for my new laptop, so.
Well, there you go.
But anyway, so all right, back to Hulu here. So the idea with Hulu is running commercials, which, back in the day, people used to run cable commercials. That was the big thing. And I guess that's still a thing these days, kind of. Local cable TV commercials. But, with half the people doing streaming and the other half doing direct TV and the other half doing Dish Network and some people doing cable and using DVRs. It's just not as convenient, not as powerful as it used to be for that. So Hulu's kind of stepped in and taken over that spot, and now it allows people like you and me, small businesses, to be able to run these ads on television. So families can be sitting in their living room watching their 80-inch TV, and boom, here comes a TV commercial for the local plumbing company or the electrical company, or even if you're selling a product. I mean, think about this. You could just have a nice little product that you've created. You could put it up there, get it on those commercials, and start getting people to buy your products off TV, just like as seen on TV. I mean, it's very easy to do. You can jump in there. All you have to do is head on over, look up Hulu advertising. It'll take you to a page, and you'll see that there's a beta for it, because it is still technically a beta, which is okay. And what you do is you fill in to be part of the beta. They're going to ask you a whole bunch of questions. And no, not a whole bunch of questions. Just basic business info, name, address, phone number, business name, things like that. And once you do, they're going to send you an email. They're going to get you into their little beta program for it. And once you're into the beta program, then you can start to run the ads. It's actually very, very easy to do. And, only requires that you have a good commercial. And this is where we're going to test things on Hulu, is see how they really are about their quality. Because unlike YouTube, you can run anything as a YouTube ad. You could just grab your phone, shoot a vertical video, stick it up on YouTube, and you can run it as an ad. They don't care. Hulu's a lot different. Hulu looks at themselves as being broadcast TV, and therefore they're a little more stringent on what they're going to put out there. One, they're going to control the content. They're not going to let you put anything out that they don't want going out to their customers. So if anything is questionable, they're not going to let you get it out there. It's not going to slip by. They look at everything. So that's one thing you got to understand. So you're not going to be doing firearms. You're not going to be doing, anything that's illegal. You're just not going to get away with that kind of stuff on Hulu. The second part is they do have technical requirements for their videos. So they got to be 15 seconds or 30 seconds long. And they have to be either Apple ProRes HQ or an MP4 H.264 with certain specifications. I believe it's got to be 15 megabits a second for your H.264s, your MP4s. So that's a pretty good size, pretty high bit rate video that you're going to put out there. But again, you're only talking 15 to 30 seconds. The video has to be either 1920 by 1080 or 1280 by 720. So any kind of HD format will work there, 16 by 9. And you have to keep it under 3 gigabytes, which if you got a 15 to 30 second commercial, that's 15 megabytes per second. You're not going to go over that size. In fact, the Apple ProRes HQ is only, I think, 22 megabytes per second. So it's even bigger than that, and the files are nowhere near 3 gigabytes, so you don't have to worry anything about that. You can, of course, encode them in higher quality as long as you don't go over the 3 gigabyte file size. But once you do that, you're going to go through, you're going to be able to choose your location, you're going to be able to choose your targeting as far as, do you want men, women, or both? What age groups do you want? What financial group do you want? Do you want people that make under 150,000, over 100,000, whatever it is. You can set all these different demographics down, and then you can even choose the type of content that you want it on. Do you want it on sci-fi or horror? Do you want it on comedy? Do you want it on reality shows? Do you want to, you get to choose the genres that you want that make sense for your particular business. And that may change. If you're a plumber, well, maybe you want all genres, really. And you can choose all genres. You don't have to choose the individual ones, so you could choose all. If you're a personal injury attorney, you kind of want to hit everybody because whether you're 18 or 80, you could get into a car accident. Whether you make $1 million a year or $100 a year, you can get into a car accident. So they want to be able to hit everybody, so you can go in and you can just choose your local area, choose everybody, choose every genre, get it out there as much as you can, and just really start to fill the space with your commercials. And, you should do really well with it. In fact, we've done really well with it. I was surprised to see how many times this commercial is shown. It's only been up for about 5 days now, somewhere around there. And it's done really well. We've gotten a lot of views out of it. Like I said, I've been trying to watch Hulu a little bit, but I'm not seeing commercials for whatever reason. So, like I said, I don't know if somebody in my family upgraded us again or not. But I was seeing commercials the other day. But ever since I put mine up, it seems like I don't see any commercials on my Hulu when I watch it. So, have to see what's up with that. But it is very easy to do. It is very powerful, and it's a way to get yourself into the living room. And you're going to be spending a ton less than you would have spent on cable advertising back in the day. I mean, you would have spent a lot more than that. Obviously, you have to produce a commercial back then, and you have to produce one now. But it's a lot easier and a lot cheaper to produce it now. And once you get it out there, it's a lot less expensive. You can start as little as $500 and run it over 5 months, and you'd only be paying $100 a month. Now, I chose $1,000, and I did it over 5 months, but the reason for that is I'm going to run multiple commercials. And so I'm going to create a different commercial, do different targeting, and see if that one does better or worse. And that way I can do another ad at $1,000 and spread that out over 5 months and have it target a different thing and see which one does better for us, and then really start to whittle that down. Once we know exactly what seems to work the best for us, then we can bump up those prices. And as long as you're bringing in more than you're paying out, you should be good. But it's a very, very easy program to get into and to work with nowadays. And the one thing I do have to say is I haven't tested very much yet the tolerance of Hulu as far as what quality of a video they want. If you make a really cheap looking commercial, you could have a slideshow commercial that fits the technical specifications. Are they going to say, no, that's crap, we don't want it, is what I don't know yet. What is going to be their threshold of, just a PowerPoint presentation and with white letters on a black background for 30 seconds, even if it's at the right technical specs, are they going to take that or not? I don't know. They probably, it'll be interesting to see. Be interesting to see if they will. But
you going to test that? Crank out some crappy commercials? Maybe
not quite that badly, but I probably will test it with, different qualities of commercial to see what they'll run. But I have seen some commercials in the past that are a lot of like the pharmaceutical ones, from the smaller companies and everything, that a lot of times, or the lawsuit commercials, were you using talcum powder over the last 20 years? A lot of times those are like just an image and some text on the screen, and those seem to get put on the air. So, who knows? Maybe it's, not going to require too much. The one that I did put up there was actually pretty slick. It was, very, high beat, lots of logos and lots of video effects and things like that. So it was a pretty slick commercial that we did. And, they didn't even have me revise it in any way. I thought for sure they'd come back and go, oh, we don't like this word or, but no, there was nothing. It went right through and was playing by the next day. So we were already getting hits by the next day. So it's, it's worked out pretty well as far as that goes. And we'll see if it builds up the business and gets people through the door, which of course is the real result of all that. The tough part is how do you really do that though? It's like a billboard. You put a billboard up, a million cars drive by the billboard, and people call your business, but did they call because they saw the billboard? Unless you ask them and they tell you, who knows? And a lot of times, by the way, people do that all the time. Oh, how'd you hear about it? Oh, Facebook or YouTube or whatever. You got to understand that a lot of times that's not very accurate either. Because a lot of people will say, oh, Google, but the reason they found you on Google is because they saw your billboard or they saw your TV commercial and then they Googled you later. Oh, we got that from Google. And you don't realize that it came from the sign. So it's very difficult to really nail that down unless you use very specific coupon codes and things like that. That definitely can work. But we find that, quite honestly, a lot of people that tell us they found us in different places don't use the codes. They pay full price. So, there's the other issue.
There you go.
People will pay, they're not going to, people will pay the extra $5 just because they don't want to hassle with remembering the code and stuff. And they may have seen you on Facebook. They know that you got some sort of Facebook code, but by the time they go to do it, they're not going to go look it back up. They just pay the extra $5 and don't save,
And it's always been like that. I mean, I was doing direct mail promotions long before there was an internet, and it was kind of the same thing. They just don't remember.
The very popular back in the day. You don't see this nearly as much as you used to, but it's the this is $399, but we're going to give you a $99 mail-in rebate, so it's only $299, and they do that because people go, whoa, I can get it for only $299, and then they never mail in the things and never get the rebate.
The breakage.
And so, you get the advantage of the lower price, but you never actually have to sell it at the lower price.
Right.
Maybe 20% will send in that thing and you send it back out. So
right, exactly.
They buy it because they think that's exciting, but then they don't want to, they don't want to get the little thing, and they don't want to put it in the mail. They don't want to get the stamp. They don't want to go to the post office, and so they who cares? And then they just paid the extra $100. So that's one of the issues because we've done a lot. I tend to. For the escape room, I've got lots and lots and lots and lots of coupon codes. So I've got, if you're ever in this area, you want to do an escape room, we've got Facebook 5, it gives you $5 off. We got YouTube 5, gives you $5 off. We got Instagram 5, we got Yelp 5, we got TripAdvisor 5, we've got Game 5, we've got Escape 5, we've got Menu 5 for people who see it on the menus in local restaurants.
Plurk 5?
Nope, there's no Plurk 5. There should be, but there's not.
There should be, that's right.
But yeah, and you could do that in your commercials. There's nothing stopping you from putting in the commercial, use this code and save $5, which I probably should have done. But the commercial that I made was crammed into 30 seconds and was, pretty, effect rich and whatnot. So it wasn't one of those info style videos for the commercial. Had it been, I probably would put that in. I guess I still could have put it in text and had it say, use the code this to save $5 or whatever, but I didn't.
Oh, well.
It's out
good
there.
Stuff. Good stuff.
Getting views.
Getting views. Well, good stuff today, Ray.
Well,
and who helped make this particular episode possible for our
this episode was made possible by our good friends at Movo, who make the UM700 podcasting and voiceover USB mic for the desktop. It's comes on a beautiful little stand, sits on your desk, allows you to do all sorts of voice recordings, music recordings, has multiple pickup patterns, has headphone jacks you can monitor. It even has a mute button in case you cough. You can press that little mute button real quick. All of that in one nice little package that's a little bit cheaper than a similar competitive mic that you may have heard of or seen in the stores. So be sure to check it out if you're going to be doing any kind of voiceover work or podcasting and you want a good quality USB microphone that plugs right in that you can get going immediately. Then you want to check out the UM700 and check it out at pocketvideopro.com/UM700, where if you pick it up there, you also get a nice little video creation package that I've put together for you as well. So you'll get all sorts of goodies to make your videos even better with all that great sound. So be sure to check that out. And other than that, Steve, I think we've got a successful little episode here. What do you think?
I tend to agree.
Excellent.
All
right. Well, if that's the case, then I guess it's time for just one more thing, and that is our lovely theme song as we get out of here. So here it comes. Hope you guys have a great week. We'll see you next time on Video Marketing Madness.
He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy.